Hello and welcome to episode 215 of our multi-leveling journey. We find ourselves in Brill in the Trostfell Glades, and we have one final quest to complete before heading on to Mulgore. And that quest is Doomweed, after which the rest of the place will be all remaining at level 7 quests and above. We're going to head down through a bit of the forest, avoiding some of these early gnoll patrols until we can get to a point where we'll be able to access the greater density of the Doomweed locations. So this is one of them. Another 3 spawns there. So we're really looking at killing as little as possible to get as many of the Doomweed as possible. And to reset. One more around the corner. Yeah. Gonna say, is the NPC not going to aggro? But he did in the end. I think that's 6. Wanders away. And that's 8. Nine and 10. So that leaves us in a position now where we can head back to Durotar. And on to Mulgore. Welcome back, Almost Pirate. Yes, the long Baron's Road does indeed await. I'm gonna make we don't need to go into Orgrimmar either, actually. The previous mage we did need to, because they were undead and didn't have the Orgrimmar flight point to begin with, but this guy will need to go into the Undercity at some point, which the quests here naturally lead you inside. Don't think there's anything particularly you need to grab. A well-timed Zeppelin. All we really need to do is check what's available. Yeah, that's not available yet. That's not available yet. So it's just light points, Mulgore, the early quests. Now you might notice these two quests are grey. Most people believe that quests start to go grey 5 levels below you. That is not true. They start to go grey 4 levels below you, and that increases by 1 level every 5 levels. Sorry, every 10 levels. So at 10 it becomes 5 below, at 20 it becomes 6 below. But most of the time people don't realise that because they don't start to see grey quests until they're above level 10. So it's crazy how much I can keep track of. I don't have 5 other monitors, no, this is all in my head, embarrassingly enough. True, I mean it's all knowledge obtained over a lot of playtime. I just have a knack for remembering things in detail. So we're really very close to level 8 already. It's only just able to fit all of that in. Yeah, so I think most people believe that you start to lose reputation from quests when they start to go grey. But again, that's not quite true. The reputation loss and whether a quest is grey for experience or not isn't actually directly linked. The Mulgore quests, even though they're grey at level 7, 5 levels below, will still give full reputation. If they didn't, then we'd have to go across there at level 6 instead. Otherwise we'd lose stuff. There's a little bit of an extended run now to get to Bloodhoof Village. Well, I can certainly very much recommend it. It's like doing all quests before they go grey. And I think doing absolutely every single quest before it goes grey isn't necessary. Like, that was just overkill on my part to do a proper examination, you know. Like, you know, if you're going to investigate and try something out, you want to do it as robustly as possible. But I think, you know, you could certainly miss one or two here and there and not lose too much reputation-wise. But it is absolutely possible to do all three. Well, to level up to 20, doing every single quest at a lower level without anything going grey. Well, I use that descriptor lightly. Without losing reputation, without doing a single quest that is more than 5 levels below you, is a better way of putting it. And yeah, essentially if you manage to do that until level 20, then that gets all of your reputations honoured, which is, the discount is all that really matters for the most part, unless you really want to push it further for a longer period of time so that you can get closer to Exalted more easily. feels really weird not to be playing Mage and not tapping Blink off cooldown. Like when you've trained yourself for so many levels to when you're running around to get the Blink hop, it just feels your brain is going, why are you not blinking? Anyway, yes. Yeah, definitely blink in real life. Yeah, it's not good. It's always important while playing games like this to occasionally look somewhere else, look away from the screen. And then grab this Shen's empty keg. You can't start it yet, but at least it's there for later. Yes, I always like to check that spot. It's en route, and it's usually there. There are other places you can find it, like in the back of this quill boar area. There's another spawn that's usually up just underneath to the south of Camp Taraju. That one's usually up as well, but there are higher level mobs around there. I just like to have it there and available so that when it does come time to do the quest, I don't have to mess around looking for it. Yeah, the one at the back of the Quill War spawns is kind of annoying. It's either teeming with people and inconsistently there, or there's no one there and you have to clear loads of stuff to get to it. I remember to grab a flight point while we're here. And we can run south. And this is the dangerous part of the run. It's the Kolkar patrols that are the key danger that we have to watch out for. They move very quickly, they hit very hard. And of course there's either 3 or 4 mobs per patrol. and unlike most roads, slightly further south, they do go onto and cross the road, which is what catches most people out, I think. These roads are generally considered safe, but this bit is not safe in the slightest if you're not paying attention. So we can avoid, at the higher level, wandering things just fine. You know, you can keep good distance, and you know they're going to kind of stay where you can see them. And the Cold Cob patrols don't cross and travel the road super frequently, but in a way that kind of makes it worse, because a lot of, you know, it makes it less likely that people know that they're even going to be there. But yeah, they'll come sort of from the direction of that mound and literally cross the road and come back again. But it doesn't look as though there's a patrol here currently. And once you're at this bridge and past it, you're pretty much safe. There aren't any more Cold Cob patrols that will intercept you. The mobs are 16, 17, 18. So you definitely want to keep a good distance from them, especially at level 7. The only thing you really very much want to keep an eye out for is the Alliance patrol. It does come up near Camp Tarajo. And again, it's not going to be there very often, but it's so much of a higher level that it will aggro from miles away. But yeah, on the whole, we are now safe, essentially. I'll go a little bit around the corner, and we can maybe see if the extra keg is up. Not too far off route.
Well met. Careful.
I don't want to go too far because obviously there are very high street level spawns around. But the keg is kind of over here, if it's up. There it is. Just there. That one is usually alive and collectible. I think usually because by the point that people get here, they've already found it elsewhere, so it just remains. Oh, there's 17. Yeah, 10 levels difference. Given the imp buff. Move the stamina. I do like the sight of entering Mulgore for the first time. Just it's the trees, the road, masses of green. Your first tune ever was a Tauren. Yeah. It's a fantastic leveling zone. Like again, they got the feel of it.
Greetings, go in peace.
I always think that the horde zones, maybe not Durotar so much, although like it sticks to its thematics, but Mulgore and Tirisfal certainly both connect more with like a feel, like a scene setting. I think the Night Elves starting zone kind of did that as well. I'm not really sure about Elwyn Forest. Like I don't know, it just feels too normal, I guess. The Durotar suffered from having two races. Well, I mean, Dunmaro's got dwarves and gnomes as well. And I mean, the Dark Spear were always pledged directly to Brawl and the Orcs. It made kind of make sense for them to be in the same place. Dwarves and gnomes felt a little bit more shoehorned together because, you know, essentially it's just the gnomes have destroyed their capital. and have been forced into Ironforge. Can't remember how big Dunmorrow looks. It's been a while. Yeah, so you got your starter zone, and then I think maybe it's because you have to do more running back and forth between where the quest takes place and where the hand-in is, whereas I think the quests in Durotar are generally closer to the quest hubs, but the distance, the run between Senjin Village and Razor Hill, you've moved from one hub to the other, but then you're doing smaller journeys out and in. But in Dunmorrow, once you get to your first little village, what is it? Begins with a K. Caranor? Is that it? Caranor? Once you get there, you're still doing the quests just from that one hub. And so the runs to and from are much longer. Like when you think about Durotar, you've got your Senjin village, but you've got all the way over to the islands and back, and it doesn't feel like much distance because I think there's enough difference and flavour that you kind of don't notice the travel perhaps so much.
Peace, friend. Farewell.
I've been expecting you.
Well met. Go in peace.
And Striders.
You wish to speak? Very good.
And this is essentially what we care about, is handing in both the level 2 quests before we hit 8. After that, we're good. We've got, what, just under 500 XP to play with as a leeway. We certainly couldn't have handed in another level 7 quest.
Ancestors watch
That
over
would have
you.
been impossible.
Goodbye. Ancestors watch over you. Hail. Will be at your back. How? Walk with the earth.
So then we need mountain cougars and the talk. Down here, rights of the Earth Mother. I'm going to head a little bit away from the quest hand-in. I want to get the pelts first and the rights second. It gives us a Mark of the Wild buff, which probably doesn't have that much impact, but we're going to be going into a much more intensive combat zone in the Brambleblade Ravine. Yeah, every little bit helps. There's such a different feel between this and where we were at level 39. Like just the sheer number of casts that are required per thing that you kill. I'm very much hoping that a different single target spec will feel vastly different. Else. So there might also be options in alchemy or tailoring that directly boost damage too. I mean, yes, you can kind of craft some tailored stuff, but on the whole, tailoring gear, like if you want to be able to craft that stuff, either a lot of it's either world drop patterns, which obviously as self-found you're not going to get, or alternatively like you need to stop and grind mobs for cloth, essentially. Because like, that's the only way you can level tailoring. And alchemy, I don't think you get a proper damage boosting option until above level 40. Oh no, maybe when... maybe 30, 35. You need to be able to fish firefin snappers, I think. But even then, I think that's only fire spell damage.
Farewell. Goodbye. Greetings. Be careful.
Suppose you might be able to push Swamp of Sorrows earlier. And get Blindweed early. But even then, that does require like level 35 in order to be able to travel around that safely. Yeah, I did look back at the VOD to see what could have done better. I had half forgotten that there was a mob as I tried to leave and run out. The patrol had come back from the right-hand tunnel. And if that had not been there, I would have been fine. I also looked at the fall damage I took, which was... I was unsurprised that I thought I would be fine after seeing it. So I had, when I went down the slope, I had 256 health, and the fall did 257 damage. So I had been thinking that the drop was safe, and if the drop had been ever so slightly shorter, and then it would very much have been safe, and I'd have got another blink in, what was it, 2 seconds cooldown left on it. I mean, I did make some errors. The first error was pulling 2 mobs when I was about around 40% mana. I do think that was not a smart idea. I should have waited and gained more mana. I didn't realise that there was a second. We killed 1 patrol, a 3rd patrol surveyor, which was what came in while we were fighting the other 2. So there was that awkwardness. I did kill the mob that I was fighting, so I think I would have been okay if I had sheeped the new thing, and waited for bandages to come off cooldown, and waited for mana to regenerate. That could have worked. And I also had a greater healing pot in my bags that I should probably have put on my action bars, but again, I had not done that. And so when I used the potion that was on my action bars, I obviously used the normal healing potion instead of a greater one. That fall damage is percentage based, so I would have taken a bit more damage but had considerably more health. And I could also have been using the raptor health and spirit buff food, which would have meant that we'd have had, again, more health to work with and more spirit, so we'd have had higher mana. I wasn't quite out of mana. I was low, and I don't think I had enough mana to fight the extra mob. I had enough to sheep it, but and I had enough for another few spells, like, you know, another blink or whatever. So there were definitely options. But I was definitely low mana-wise. Yeah, I mean, but pulling in the cave on 40% was not optimal. I don't think it was in itself bad, but it certainly wasn't the best thing to do. Do 9 out of 12 belts. Oh, small red pouch. Yes, please. Grab the dirt-stained map of the quest. Let it start. It's taken long enough to get a single bag drop this time. We've been somewhat unlucky. But that takes us to complete 4 belts. And everything else as well. I do like this area as Tauren, where you can do it all, get the map, and then half out back to your start point. That feels so good. Everyone else has to run. The real question, did we find any usable gear? Probably not. Yeah, no. Was the gear the friends made along the way. Well, we've got them to like us a whole lot more, I guess. We've got enough to buy another bag, or alternatively, to save it, train skills.
Hail. Farewell. Goodbye.
How may I aid you? Farewell. We shall meet again.
Hail. May the eternal sun shine. Winds be at your back. Go in peace.
1 to 11. Point 4 of a second. Don't know if it really makes that much difference.
May the eternal sun shine.
Greetings.
Yeah, so I think we stay in Mulgore until kind of level 11, getting on for 12, or once we just hit 12. And then we need to head back to Durotar and Turosfell Glades at that point. Depending on exactly what quests are finished, we can potentially leave sooner than that. I definitely want to go to the crossroads at level 10, do the fungal spores chain. The staff reward from that is just too good. Its low end damage is 25, which is more than double the top end damage of this staff. It's a quest you can't reasonably say no to.
Well, be careful.
Greetings, traveler.
Greetings. We shall meet again. Walk with the Earth Mother. Be careful. Go in peace. Greetings. Go in peace. What brings you here? Peace, friend.
Oh, there is normally an ambercorn there that picked up, but we'll have to find one from somewhere else. See.
Ah, I have just the thing for you. We shall meet again. How?
I think I will buy the extra bag rather than wait for it. Mulgore has just so much that gets in the way, and you don't want to run out of space. You've got the Mazaranshi, which takes up 4 bag slots. You've got the Dwarven Digging Tools, Wind Fury Talons, Brighter Vision takes up 2, and then there's all the creature parts that drop as well. Trophies, Coop Swells. Yes, so I think this is another good stopping point. We're about to start Mulgore proper. We've done the starting area, and I shall be back later on tonight, probably in a couple of hours, to continue with that and see. Should be able to push 10 easily. Let's see if I can hit 12 and get ready for Ragefire Chasm. That would be a good objective for tomorrow. But I have to sadly go out again for a little while, so I will call it here. But alright, well, take care then. See you when I see you. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.